So with version 5.3 on the way, we can finally start talking about some of the new characters coming. In this video, we're going to be going over Citlali. I'm going to call her Citlali just so that I don't keep butchering her name. She's actually a 5-star Catalyst Cryo user. Here's her Ascension card, and here's the banner she'll be available in. So because she's a Catalyst character, it means that her normal attack will actually have cryo damage. It's actually kind of strange because her base attacks are literally pelting enemies with pillowcases. But let's move on to her elemental skill. So there's a pretty long description for it, but essentially she summons an opal shield, which will deal Night Soul aligned area of effect cryo damage. The opal shield's damage absorption scales based on Citlali's elemental mastery and absorbs cryo damage with 250% efficiency. When it's deployed, it will cause Citlali to briefly be affected by cryo. After using this skill, she gains 24 Night Soul points and enters Night Soul Blessing state. The Night Soul Blessing state will trigger its Papa. This creature will follow the character, and if Citlali has at least 50 Night Soul points, its Papa enters the Opal Fire state and continuously consumes Night Soul points to whip up a Frostfall Storm that attacks nearby opponents with its area of effect, dealing Night Soul aligned cryo damage. When Citlali's Night Soul points are depleted, its Papa's Opal Fire state will end, and once its Papa leaves the field, Citlali will outright end her Night Soul Blessing state. Now her ultimate ability. Summons allies from the starry sky and the vast earth, hurling forth an ice storm to bombard the area in front and deal Night Soul aligned area of effect cryo damage. This restores a set amount of Night Soul points for Citlali and also summons a Spirit Vessel skull near a maximum of 3 opponents within the area of effect, with 1 skull for each opponent. Spirit Vessel skulls explode after some time, dealing Night Soul aligned area of effect cryo damage and restoring a set amount of Night Soul points. Moving on to her passive abilities. Songs of Profound Mystery. While in an area with Phlogiston mechanics within Natlan, triggering Night Soul Burst restores 20 Phlogiston. Her next passive is Night Realm's Gift, Smoke Mirrors, and the Flowing Winds. So while in an area with Phlogiston mechanics within Natlan, Citlali can use her Night Soul Transmission, and when the active character is currently high enough in the air, the following will trigger when switching to Citlali. She will leap up high and will deploy White Obsidian Sibibizib. She'll float on her pillow, and this Night Soul Transmission can be triggered once every 10 seconds by your party. Meanwhile, holding aiming mode will cause Citlali to enter the Spirit Speaker state, which will allow her to interact with Night Spirit Graffiti and Night Spirit Sigils, extracting information and power from them. Additionally, holding the jump button will cause Citlali to consume 75 stamina and leap. In areas within Natland where Phlogiston mechanics are present, Citlali will prioritize consuming 5 Phlogiston to leap even higher. When in the air, Citlali can hold her normal attack to consume Phlogiston or stamina and enter aiming mode. And when initiating a charged attack in midair, Citlali will prioritize consuming 20 Phlogiston. Her next passive, Mama Loco's Frigid Rain. While its Papa is on the field, after nearby party members trigger the frozen or melt reactions, the pyro and hydro resistance of opponents affected by those reactions decreases by 20% for 12 seconds. Additionally, Citlali will regain 16 Night Soul points, and these points can be restored once every 8 seconds. Her final passive, Star Garments. During her elemental skill, its Papa's Frostfall Storm damage is increased by 90% of Citlali's elemental mastery. During the elemental burst, Ice Storm damage is increased by 1,200% of her elemental mastery. In addition, when nearby party members trigger Night Soul bursts, Citlali regains 4 Night Soul points. Finally, moving on to her constellations, her C1. When she uses her elemental skill, Citlali gains the Upholstar Vestments effect. This lasts until its Papa leaves the field, and during this time, she will obtain 10 Stellar Blades. When a nearby active character other than Citlali deals damage, it will consume 1 blade to increase that damage dealt 200% of Citlali's elemental mastery. And after a nearby party member triggers Frozen or Melt, Citlali will gain another 3 Stellar Blades. This effect can trigger once every 8 seconds. Using her elemental skill will reset the Stellar Blade stacks, and additionally, when Citlali is using her leap or is in aiming mode, or using her charge attacks in midair, her Phlogiston consumption is decreased by 45%. Her C2, Citlali gains 125 elemental mastery, and other characters shielded by her opal shield gain 250 elemental mastery. Additionally, when you use her skill, nearby active characters will also be granted an opal shield. Also, the passive talent Momoloko's Frigid Rain has its effects enhanced. While its Papa is on the field, after nearby party members trigger Frozen or Melt, the opponents affected by those reactions will have their Pyro or Hydro damage resistance additionally decreased by 20% for 12 seconds, totaling 40%. Her C3 increases her skill by 3 levels. Her C4, while her elemental skill is active, when its Papa's Frostfall Storm hits opponents, an additional Obsidian Spirit Vessel skull is summoned. When one of the skulls summoned this way explodes, it deals 1,800% of Citlali's Elemental Mastery as Night Soul aligned area of effect cryo damage and restores 16 Night Soul points and 8 energy for Citlali. This effect can trigger once every 8 seconds, and the damage is not considered elemental burst damage. Her C5 increases her ult by 3 levels, and her C6. After being summoned with the elemental skill, its Papa will always be in the opal fire state, and when Night Soul points are exhausted, this state will not end. Additionally, when her skill is used, its Papa will consume all Night Soul points, and while it is on the field, it will continuously consume Night Soul points. Each point consumed in this way will grant Citlali 1 Sum of the Secret Law point. A maximum of 40 such points can be gained, and each point Citlali possesses will grant all nearby party members a 1.5% Pyro and Hydro damage bonus, and increase the damage Citlali deals by 2.5%. When its Papa leaves the field or upon using Citlali's elemental skill again, all the points she has accumulated will be removed. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think that this character is highly generic in my opinion. It's kind of cool that she's got like the whole pillow thing, but we already had like a sleeping Animo character years ago. Like her utility is obviously off the charts with her shields and such, but I think most people are just gonna go for the Archon.